The real secret behind creative strategy is that it's far less about being a tortured artist and much more about systems, data, and repeatable experiments. If you intend to grow reliably on paid channels or organic social media, you absolutely need a robust testing framework that treats creativity like a laboratory, not just a spontaneous brainstorm session. Today, I'm going to walk you through a practical, repeatable process for systematically testing your hooks, intelligently iterating on your creatives, and successfully turning fleeting ideas into scalable wins. I'll even show you how specific tools can automate the most boring yet utterly crucial parts of this work so you can focus purely on the big ideas. Having previously run growth initiatives for several apps that scaled into the 8 and 9-figure range, I learned one universal lesson over time. Creative volume is what truly wins. The sheer quantity of smart creative variants you test directly correlates with how often you discover those surprising black swan ads that perform incredibly cheaply. However, you can't just wildly throw content at the wall without a method. You need a defined system for testing hooks, logging your winners, and recombining proven creative elements. That structured approach is precisely what this step-by-step testing method is designed to deliver for you. The reason we always start with hooks is because the very first 2 seconds of your content are disproportionately important for capturing attention. Research from platforms like TikTok suggests a massive portion of ad recall and overall awareness is decided before most viewers even finish their first breath. Essentially, your lead-in, which includes both the visual element and the opening text, is where you either win or immediately lose the viewer's attention entirely. If you fail to nail that initial hook, even your most gorgeous product shots will sadly never get the chance to be seen by the audience. For round 1, you need to treat every single hook like a distinct, measurable variable you can manipulate in your experiment. Break these variables down into 2 primary groups, the visual hooks and the accompanying on-screen text hooks. Visual hooks are that first frame or motion that instantly arrests attention, like someone quickly chopping food or a surprising facial reaction. Text hooks, conversely, are the very first line of text displayed, perhaps making a bold claim, stating a POV, or creating a clear curiosity gap. For example, one brand tested 4 different visuals, say one with mushrooms being chopped, against 2 text variants, creating 8 total combinations. This type of systematic pairing is a small-scale exercise in combinatorics that yields extremely high returns on your learning. To run this effectively, put each unique text variant into its own separate ad set, ensuring your audience targeting and budget remain perfectly balanced across them. The primary goal in this initial round is simply to discover which text hook performs the best overall, and which visual variations resonate most strongly with it. You might find that one specific text copy pairs exceptionally well with 2 particular visuals, signaling that the copy is the dominant driver of performance. A proper naming system becomes absolutely vital when you start generating 20 to 50 creative variants, as it truly saves your sanity. You need to be able to look back and instantly decipher a tag like text B1, visual 2, 15s to know exactly what you were testing at a glance. Always store your proven winning hooks in a dedicated hooks database, so your whole team can easily reuse top-performing copy without starting from scratch. Moving into round 2, once you have a clear winner, you do not discard everything else. Instead, you leverage that winner as a control element. Keep the proven element fixed and bold, and then pair it exclusively with brand new visual or text variants to isolate the risk of failure. For instance, if a headline wins, you test dozens of new visuals against that exact headline, or if a visual wins, you test that visual against new copy variations. This controlled pairing drastically accelerates your overall learning curve because you are consciously changing only one variable at a time. Real high-performing teams do this constantly, such as a dieting app that kept reusing a winning headline while testing numerous imagery sets against it. The repeated use of that successful copy across fresh visuals tells the team the headline is doing the heavy lifting, allowing ADOPs to scale the copy and iterate on imagery. That disciplined approach is genuine scientific testing, moving far beyond simple guesswork in your creative execution. The inherent problem with this powerful methodology for most teams is the massive scale and the sheer labor involved in production. The process works brilliantly, but creating hundreds of unique ad variants through manual editing is incredibly tedious and time-consuming. This often requires editors to manually clip precise hook timings, painstakingly overlay text, export numerous aspect ratios, and then schedule every single post individually. That manual process becomes slow and expensive, and crucially, it kills iteration speed, which is the single most important competitive edge you can possess. This is precisely where a tool like Vizard is designed to integrate seamlessly into your creative workflow and remove that friction. It automatically scans your longer videos to find those high-leverage moments, the little visual or audio spikes that inherently make for great hooks, and turns them into instantly shareable clips. Instead of hiring an editor to spend hours chopping footage and manually overlaying variants, Vizard proactively surfaces candidate hooks for you to evaluate. The platform lets you batch create all your text overlays, export across multiple aspect ratios simultaneously, and apply consistent, intelligent naming to everything. It can then even auto-schedule those finished clips directly into your content calendar, pushing tests live across all channels without a million manual steps. In practice, you upload your long-form interview or webinar, and the system suggests 10 to 30 short clips that have a high potential for engagement. You can then preview those candidates, quickly tweak the overlay font or CTA, and select exactly which combinations you want to batch export right then and there. If you needed to test text B versus text A across Visual 2 and Visual 4, the platform will generate those 4 distinct combinations for you automatically. It correctly tags every single clip with consistent naming so that your downstream analytics pipeline can easily ingest the results without error. Once all the clips are prepped, Vizard's scheduling features place them directly onto your content calendar, maintaining a consistent posting cadence automatically. This eliminates the dreaded last-minute scramble or the common problem of simply forgetting to post content on a given day way. Other editors or scheduling tools might be powerful but are often too expensive for creators needing high testing volume, or they lack intelligent clip selection. Some focus solely on rigid templates and force you to do all the critical cutting manually, which becomes a major bottleneck when aiming for 30 to 100 tests per month. The ideal sweet spot for a platform like Vizard is for creators and teams that need to push creative velocity significantly higher without letting costs balloon out of control. In round 3, you combine your proven winning text hooks and visuals with your best performing body videos and final calls to action to create reliable assets. My experience shows you can typically go from a raw initial idea all the way to a truly scalable ad in just a couple of disciplined testing rounds. A few practical tips for maximizing your testing velocity include not obsessing over tiny differences in click-through rate during early hook testing. When possible, always look deeper down the funnel at the cost per action or conversion signals, because attention must equal action to matter. Make sure you always keep a control group ad running so you have an objective baseline to measure the actual lift your new variants are producing. If your tooling cannot tag clips automatically, you must enforce a strict spreadsheet convention and diligently stick to it for asset management. It is always worth testing variants of a winning hook on a new product before you decide to completely dismiss that creative angle. One of the most satisfying parts of this process is taking an initial dud concept and successfully transforming it into something that scales profitably. The trick to rescuing a loser is to pair that failing concept with an already proven high-performing element, and then iterate extremely quickly. Perhaps the original visual just needed a much stronger opening text hook, or maybe the timing of that first frame simply lost the audience too fast. That combination of ultra-fast iteration powered by smart automation is the formula that turns a creative loser into a measurable winner. Ultimately, creative strategy isn't some mystical talent reserved only for a few genius directors. It is fundamentally a system. Hypothesize, test, store winners, and then recombine. If you can successfully automate all the tedious production steps, you instantly unlock massive creative velocity, and velocity is what genuinely wins on attention-based platforms. If you create long-form content, start treating your source videos like raw lab samples that you can mine for short-form tests. Utilize tools that automatically surface the most likely hooks, automate the variant combinations, and handle all the scheduling for you. That allows you to run significantly more experiments, discover more winners, and waste drastically less time on repetitive manual editing tasks. Even without specialized tools, start by making your hook testing systematic. Separate visuals from text, enforce controlled iterations, log every winner, and always prioritize speed over initial perfection. Do that consistently across your content, and the compounding effect on your creative performance will be truly massive over time. Now go find the most compelling 2 seconds worth testing in your next long piece of content, because that tiny moment is often everything.